Helen and you. Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you. I can't make this difference sitting down in my home. My comfort zone is by reaching out to these women, knowing their pains, their needs, and doing the best I can. And again, one thing that is very important, every person has a need. There are wants, but I want to differentiate need and want. We women, we want. I want this, I want that. One very key word that I will use is manner of approach. You might not have the necessary resources to meet their needs, but be nice. Let your words carry grace.
Listen. Sometimes I feel like giving up. It seems like my best just ain't good enough. But Lord, if you heal me, I'm calling you. Do you see, do you care about what I'm going through? And then he says, one more days, one more step. See, I'm preparing you for myself. And when you can't hear my voice, please trust my plan. I'm the Lord, I see, yeah, yes, I understand. And sometimes I feel like I'm all alone. I'm just like a stranger, so far from home. It seems like I've done all that I can do. Please, Lord, give me strength. I'm just trying to make it through, yeah. That's when it taught me, oh, one more step, yeah.
One more step.
I'm preparing you. I'm preparing you for myself. And when you can't hear my voice, please just trust my plan. I am the Lord, I see you, and yes, I understand. Oh, he knows just how much we can bear. Oh, in the time of trouble, he promised he will always be there. Oh, I understand. The Lord is telling you, I understand. I am the Lord, I see you, and yes, I understand. This is what it said. It said, I am the Lord, I change it not. See, I won't forget, no, have I forgot. You see, everything works according to my plan. He said, I am God, trust me, I got a whole world in my hand. Oh, one more step, I'm preparing you. I'm preparing you for myself. And when you can't hear my voice, please just trust my plan. I am the Lord, I see you, and yes, I understand. Whoa, I am the Lord, I see see what you're going through, every problems, every trials, every pressure, every pain. I will leave you. I will leave you. I will be with you to the end of the world. Oh, understand.
Now, welcome back. It is still Mama Helen you, all the way from Warri, Nigeria today. I have actually been in discussion with Dame Edith Okowa, wife of the Governor of the United States. It is a pleasure having you here again. And of course, you're able women, I can tell. You've really cleverly picked them up. Well, we've been talking about women in politics, and then it snowballed into sickle cell anemia that people often go through. And the wife of the governor has also told us about the fact that she has 2 children, one passed on, that have experienced, but the present one still experiencing this same disease. And no wonder she has been so empowered and touched to converting her pain in touching others who might also be experiencing this sort of pain. There is an aspect to this, however, that I want us to touch on very quickly. And at this time, I want to be able to talk with Dr. Mrs. Uche Okwe. I know you're a medical doctor, and you're also Chief Medical Officer, Ministry of Health and Resource Person on this O5 initiative. What kind of information are you passing on to mothers? Most importantly, because you see, when a home is hot, and you can almost tell that the women in there will be the ones to experience it most. So what are the things you're telling mothers who might be having children who are sickle cell?
It is actually a genetic disorder.
Wow.
So we see that parents, it's inherited,
Okay.
and then parents are involved. Male, female, marriage or union
Okay.
could bring forth children with sickle cell.
Okay.
We find that when we talk about genes, we are talking about AS and AS interwoven to give forth children that are SS. So you see that it is not exactly a disease. A disease is probably due to some infection or something like that, but for sickle cell, we call it a genetic disorder.
Condition. Okay.
Taking it down to what we tell mothers. Of course, when you have children with AS or AA, you have to actually pass on an information. That is why the clinic is so helpful.
Did you say AA though?
Yes, they do. If you are married, if you are AS and you are married to an AS, there's actually a likelihood that you could have an AA child.
Okay.
It is by chance. It is not as if you are AS, you must have an AA child. You could actually have an SS throughout. It could happen. So we call it occurs by chance that you have SS or you have AA, or then of course you have AS among your children. So we actually pass on that. Whenever a child is born, you must ask the child to have her genotype or his genotype done. We advise that at the clinics most of the time. Most of the sickle cell clinics being opened now, being updated, have a unit for genetic counseling.
Okay.
And it has a unit for, we found out that there is a lab. And of course, the lab has to run.
So in other words, you are saying go for a test.
Go for a test.
Okay.
Once you are an adolescent, go for a test. If you have the opportunity to do it, please do it, because it actually helps. And of course, when you know what you are, or you are SS, or you are AA, then of course, it gives you that info, you know what to do when you are going to get married.
Okay. All right. That will be for those who are already married
Yes.
and probably did not do a check before tying the knot, just like what we've experienced with Dame here as well. Now, the aspect, and I'm coming to you now, as a mother, you were faced with this condition. What did you do? at least you have one survivor who have survived actually, and who is not an engineer. What did you do? How did you change the diet?
First, I took care of the environment. Not just the sickle cell child, our environment should be clean, free of dirt that could invite mosquitoes.
That's awesome.
Yes. Make sure that the house is well netted. The child must proper ventilation. Thirdly, good food.
Good food. Awesome.
Good food.
Awesome.
And this good food is not about wealth. It's not about money. Vegetables, balanced diet, fruits, plenty of water. The child must be hydrated. Just like every one of us. We know what is going on in the country today. We are experiencing heat wave. If you don't drink water, you don't have to be a sickle cell before you slump. So the child must be properly hydrated. No stress. Don't overstress. There is a limit to which the child should be stressed. Just like every other human being, you should have your threshold. You should know your threshold of stress. If you overblow it, you know what the result.
So true.
I think that is just it. And
That's it.
The
Balance that.
the umbrella of it all.
It's God Almighty. Awesome. I love that. But let me dig in deeper. Balance diet. Somebody is going to talk about. I mean, what could be referred to as balanced diet to you might be totally different with mine.
Yes.
So, what would you consider as a balanced diet?
There must be protein, carbohydrate, vitamins
Okay.
in the minerals in your food.
Good. Awesome.
Not
So,
eba
we're not
morning,
talking about good. I guess that's what
afternoon, eba evening.
starch in, starch out. All the starchy stuff we eat. Well, someone would say, well, why can't I have rice? Is it okay to eat
Yes.
rice? Okay, so what she's actually talking about is that you need to balance it out. Sometimes you go for protein, but mostly protein. I guess that's what she's trying to pass on to her. And you do not have to have a sickle cell to being able to watch what you eat,
Yes,
isn't
yeah.
it? I mean, it's essential, especially if you want to live long.
Yes.
I asked that question because she has been able to nurture one to full life, and it's quite commendable. Really, it is commendable. Now, I want to ask the lady sitting by you. So, what has been your participation? How have you been able to steer up the wheel of this initiative?
As you know, I'm the Director General of the O5 initiative. I'm like the engine room coordinating the activity of the foundation.
Good.
We have, as we said earlier, we have a lot of things that we're doing. We're talking about the prisons, we talk about the orphanages, we help with the clothing of the poor. These all have focal persons, but I manage the activity of all the focal persons.
Okay.
So when we have an activity, for instance, the focal person is the one directly in charge, but I governize the whole foundation to ensure that that program works. And then we monitor also to ensure that it's not just a one-off thing, but that having done, for instance, the sickle cell clinics, having established the clinics, we need to have feedbacks to know how we are doing in the clinics, if we're having more children being discovered, if we're having issues with managing the clinics. So totally my function is to ensure that the foundation runs on a smooth wheel.
Good. That's awesome. Now, let us zero in on sickle cell. I don't know why maybe because I know some of our parents might also have children alike in this category. I mean, how do you passionately get this out? Because one of the things that I have discovered in this world of ours, particularly in the developing nation of ours, Nigeria, is that we are not too quick to getting information. Okay, and then of course the leadership as well sometimes do not think or do not deem it fit. The program could be laudable, but the ability to get it all out so that people are well informed. How do you go about achieving that, knowing that we have, you know, the limitations we have in terms of having organs and all that to doing this?
One of the things that we do is that when we go to any of the local governments to establish a sickle cell clinic, we ensure that all the stakeholders are all invited. Political class, the market woman, the married woman, the teachers, the students, they're invited. So at that program, we do some measure of enlightenment, and we assume that these ones that have been invited are supposed to be like change agents.
Good.
When you get the information, you
go
home and you inform your family members, your friends. You know, in our society, we thrive on aproko. Sorry. And so when they see you dressed up, going somewhere, they say the wife of the governor is coming somewhere. And then when you come back, the first question they will ask you, what thing you can do? It's an avenue for you to now say, they came for sickle cell. And then you discover that through that informal channel of communication, the information gets to society. But one of the things we focus on is this issue of the adolescents and the young adults having themselves tested.
Okay.
When you're tested, you know your genotype. It guides you when it's time for you to get married. Yeah. So even if you are married, you have to know that you have to tell your children, especially the young adults, to go and check. If you're not married, the young ones, go and check yourself and ensure that you're properly informed, so that when it comes to time of marriage, you're well informed.
You'll be informed. Awesome. Awesome. This is a recession period. How have you been able to cope?
Good question. It's all about Jesus. You wonder, with the lean resources coming, how are salaries paid? What is the magic constructing this road? Jesus. One thing I do as I come on my nails, knowing the time. You know, like I told you earlier when we were discussing, that I don't like complaints. God, before I was conceived in the womb of my mother, knew about this time. And that He allowed us to come to power at this time, He has a purpose. And the purpose will be achieved if only I will hand over the state to Him. So, as I come on my knees daily to pray, raise helpers. Helpers of destiny. You see roads constructed. There are people who have said, let me construct this road. If you have 5 naira, give me. When you have 10 naira, put it in my account. Let me just see it constructed. That is how things have been going on. The little that comes, like, you know, we started by women in politics. How do we encourage them? One thing that should be your drive is service. If you know you are called to serve, it is not about yourself. What you will wear, what you will eat, where you will sleep should be secondary. It is how, what, when I have long left this position, and I have long left even planet Earth, what will be said about me?
Awesome.
What will I be remembered for? So when this service comes in, you know that you are called to serve. There is commitment in you. So I would say Dr. Okowa is not a magician. He's just a committed child of God. Who has sacrificed everything as it comes, lay it bare. If you allow the public to know how it is, it's like you having a husband. And your husband comes back with 500,000 naira salary and tells you, my wife is 500,000. You begin to arrange it. If it's finished, will you ask questions? So lay it bare. Let the world know
exactly
what is
coming in, and
what is coming in, how it's being spent, and quarterly or occasionally let people know what you are doing. No, nothing hidden in the cupboard.
Nothing hidden in it. I love that. I love that. I love it. Awesome. the Geneva Convention, it was advocated by the women that attended, and then of course later on approved by the United Nations, on the need for women to have equal rights to vote, to be voted for, and then of course to occupy a public office. Would you be married to a political office holder, the governor of Delta State, say that Nigerians or Nigerian women have been able to benefit immensely in our political era?
I wouldn't say so. I would say 40%.
Did you say 40?
Okay, let's reduce it. Let's reduce it. Let's say
maybe 15%.
Let's say 20. 20%. Both elected and appointed.
And appointed.
I want to say one thing, please, from my heart. The foundation, the Bible says, when the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do?
Our father has been preaching on this now for some time.
If those of us in position, elected or appointed, women, please present us well.
Represent us well. Awesome.
Do the needful.
So true.
You wouldn't need to begin to look for tongue criers to talk about that woman. Every woman that has been appointed or elected, go out there and tell them that we can even do better than what they are doing.
So true.
So that we don't need too much talk. Our works will speak for us. So what I'm advocating here is, yes, we've not been given, it's not going to be very easy. We know what it is like in Africa. The man, the male, and the girl child. But, you know, with time, and by God's grace, we will get there. But now, what we need to do is to begin to tell them that we have these virtues. We can do it. Yes, we can. If we can, we must not go there to do what we say we condemn men doing. What you condemn, you shouldn't be seen doing it.
So true. So true. Would you also say, because, you know, earlier on during the course of this program, you made reference to the fact that sometimes women could be a problem to themselves.
Yes.
In other words, I mean someone, you know, I think it was in discussion with someone. I think he's a professor in one of the universities, and we got talking, you know, about women's rights and the need to allow our women, you know, participate in politics. And he said to me, he says, "Ma'am, may I please, you know, tell you that most of the challenges you're having, not having enough of women in some of these positions and so on and so forth, is having to do with women not being supportive of themselves." And then he gave a scenario on how there was a particular political office that needed to be filled up, and it was being discussed whether to put a woman or not. And at the meeting of 7 people, just only women in that meeting, the 7 men were saying, "It would be nice for us for a change to have a woman." And the woman in there said, "Who might that be?" And so by the time, who might that be? And by the time a woman's name was mentioned, she said, "Oh my God, how can she be the one? I mean, I thought you guys were going to be talking about me." He could have been me, not her, you know. So, and then I often say that when women are emotional, when you were talking about defining the word needs and wants, I mean, fine, we want this, we want that, but we can be very needed as well as a person, in the sense that we're very emotional. So we want men to meet that need that is very emotional inclined, you know. Now, when that aspect of women comes up, it means to bring down the ones that seems to be doing very well, or the ones that probably might have the opportunity to be positioned. For me as a woman, although I'm excited seeing every woman being successful, but then when I see a woman riding the horse, it gives me a kick within and say, come on baby, ride on, you can do it. You know, so why can't we what must we do? What must we do to repositioning our women properly? What needs to be done? An orientation maybe, or what are the things? Or probably you can even lead it.
Oh.
Using our word, agent of change.
Yeah. Agent of change, it depends. I am not a politician. I'm the wife of a politician. And that is the truth. What I would say is inform them, giving them more orientation, and then women should have more integrity. Or very key word. You that is up there, show them that you have integrity. You can't be pushed here and there. You're a woman of class.
Awesome. I love that.
People don't just talk to you. You see, people, you are dressed by the way you dress.
So true. So true.
By the way you carry yourself. So let us have walk that your father is a lion of the tribe of Judah. The moment we begin to know that we are women, we are not just kickabouts.
Yes.
They tell you do this, you do anything for anything. Then I think things will change for us.
Things will change for us.
Yes.
You're a woman and you're a doctor.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me about
in my
that.
profession, we have a lot of males compared to the females. We can have a class of 100 students and then about 90 are males and then females. So you ask, how do we go about it? How do we come on board? How do we? So it's hard work. We don't sleep. You have to really work very hard to be able to prove yourself that you can make it. And you are even better. So that is the major thing. And then the focusing. You must focus on your ideals.
I love that.
You must focus on your ideals, what you want to do. Several times family life or things like that could derail you, could go back. But at the same time, you have to come up again. Despite the family life, become stronger and then focus and you get there.
Even if you're a lonely voice and no one seems to be supportive of this course, as a woman who knows her worth, you must never bow to pressure.
Pressure, yes.
Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you. Mama Helen and you.